Au trône de Québec, Canada, ce soir est présenté par Top Rank Boxing.
The ring, the undefeated defending world champion, Dmitry Bivol.
Well, maybe he can be outboxed, maybe, but if he's knocking everyone out, you never know, do you? So, he just...
WBC, IBF, WBO, light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterbiev!
The fight we've all been waiting for has finally gone down in history. The WBC IBF and WBO light heavyweight champion, or BBV, just stepped into the ring against the WBA champion Dmitry Bivol, and I got to say this one lived up to all the hype. If you missed it, don't worry, I've got you covered with a full fight breakdown. First of all, what a fight. Beterbiev came in like the train he's known him to be, and he didn't disappoint, or came out aggressive right off the bat and just kept going. Before we knew it, it was over. At round 8, he claimed the title of undisputed light heavyweight champion in an 8-round battle ball, put up a great fight. But in the end, he couldn't withstand the raw power that Beterbiev brings every time he steps into the ring. Now, let's get into the action. The first few rounds, you could see Bivol was trying to play it defensive. The dude knows how to move, how to pick his shots, how to avoid the big hits, and for a while it looked like that might be enough to keep BBV at bay. But man, when BBV starts landing those power shots, you can see the shift in momentum. You can't avoid him forever in round 1. Bivol went defensive, keeping his distance and trying to land jabs while staying mobile. He knew going toe-to-toe with Beterbiev could end badly, so he was clearly banking on his movement to keep him safe. And it worked for a while. His strategy allowed him to win the early rounds on some of the judges' scorecards. By round 3, Beterbiev started closing the distance. Ball followed up with the same strategy, but managed to land a few jabs. But BBF kept pushing. As the rumor stands, he'd been studying Bal's previous fights. But Herb began trapping Bivol against the ropes more frequently, forcing Bivol into exchanges where he didn't want to be. Bivol, to his credit, stayed composed. I mean, this guy is no pushover. He came into this fight undefeated with 22 wins. His stamina and ring IQ have always been his strongest assets, but by round 5, it was clear Beterbiev was starting to land some serious body shots that were slowing Bivol down. You could tell Bivol was feeling those punches. By the time we reached round 7, it looked like the end for Bivol. BBF's pressure was paying off. Even though Bivol was still throwing punches, you could see his output slowing down, and he was getting hit with shots that he just couldn't avoid. And then came round 8. Beterbiev did what he does best. He finished the fight in devastating fashion, a right hand from Beterbiev landed cleanly, sending Bivol crashing down. It was lights out. It was clear Real wasn't getting up from that. It was brutal. And just like that, BBF became the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. The judges' scorecards at the time of the stoppage read 77, 7,578, 74 for BBV, and one judge had it 76, 75 for Bivol. So it was close. But man, that erased all doubts.
Uppercut, Beterbiev's on the attack. Joe Smith is crumbling again. WBC, IBF, WBO, light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterbiev.
Now there's already some buzz about what's next for both of these guys. People are wondering whether Bivol will take a little time off or jump straight back into the ring. There are rumors he's been eyeing a potential move down to super middleweight, where he could challenge Canelo Alvarez again, but honestly, I think Bivol might stick around at light heavyweight for a while longer. There are still plenty of interesting matchups for him in this division, and he's far from finished. As for BBV, man, this win just cements his status as one of the most dangerous fighters in the world. The dude is a monster at 20Z. With every single one of those wins coming by knockout, he's sending a message to the entire boxing world. No one is safe, but there are some rumors swirling about potential retirement talks. At 39 years old, BBV is getting up there in age, And while he's still fighting at an elite level, we all know time waits for no one. However, with a performance like this, I don't think he's going anywhere just yet. There's also some speculation that BBV might be looking at a heavyweight move. Yeah, I know it sounds wild, but this guy has the power to hang with the big boys. Could you imagine Beterbiev versus someone like Alexander Usyk or Tyson Fury? Those would be crazy matchups. It's just talk for now, but you never know in boxing.
Yeah, I feel good at how I was fighting. Of course, not 100%, but maybe 80%. Every time you could be better.
So let's take a step back and look at some predictions before this epic fight went down. First off, Floyd Mayweather had some pretty solid insight as usual. You know, Floyd always respects the technical side of boxing, and he gave Bill props for his ring IQ. He said, "Val's ring IQ is unmatched," and he showed that. But at the end of the day, it's the power you can't teach that makes the difference. Bivol was sharp, but Mayweather nailed it when he mentioned that Beterbiev brought that raw natural strength to the table, and as we saw, it only takes one shot to change everything. Floyd was spot on, and after that knockout in the 8th round, it was clear that Beterbiev's power was the deciding factor. It was definitely Beterbiev moment. Speaking of power, Canelo Alvarez had a few things to say too. When asked about the fight, Canelo didn't seem all too surprised by the outcome. He admitted Bivol is a good fighter, no doubt he fought good, but Beterbiev came out as the winner. Bivol did what he could, but sometimes the power is too much. And we saw exactly that Bivol gave it his all, but Beterbiev's relentless pressure wore him down, and that knockout shot ended it all. There were talks about Canelo possibly wanting a rematch with Bivol, but Canelo seemed a bit nonchalant about it, saying, the rematch? Well, right now, I focus on my plans. I have different things to do. We see what happens in the future. But for now, I don't think about that fight too much. We see later. But I have my own goals. Maybe, maybe not. We see. I get the feeling Canelo has other things on his mind right now. Maybe he's thinking about new challenges at 168, or even stepping up for bigger fights. But for now, it seems like the Bivol rematch isn't his priority.
I'm very happy if this fight happen in professional, because I believe I can give him something in professional.
But Bivol, he wasn't exactly thrilled with the idea of a rematch with Canelo either. At least not right now, he said. I don't think about Canelo because I just had my fight with Canelo. We had a 2-year waiting. Does he want to fight or does he not want to fight? It was only talking. No action, no negotiations at all. He just closed the subject. He sounded a bit frustrated, mentioning how there was a lot of talk about the rematch, but no real action or negotiations ever came through BV's focus. Was clearly on the Beterbiev fight. And now that he's lost, who knows what's next for him? He might be looking to regroup before even considering stepping back in with Canelo. He's got a lot to think about after a knockout like that Eddie Hearn had been stirring the pot before the fight, talking about how Bivol versus Canelo 2 could be huge. If Bivol beat BBF, Hearn was hyped, saying, if Dmitry Bivol beats Artur Beterbiev, we have the opportunity to do Dmitry Bivol against Canelo Alvarez for the undisputed light heavyweight world championship. Well, that didn't happen, so Hearn's backup plan is for Bivol to drop down to 168 to Canelo again. He explained if Dmitry were to lose, he could drop down to 168 to challenge Canelo Alvarez. We want to see Dmitry win this fight. And if Canelo wants it, I would love to make that happen. It's still possible. But after this loss, it feels like the momentum for that fight has cooled down. Bivol's stock might have taken a hit. And while a move to 168 could reignite things, the buzz isn't as strong as it would have been had he beaten